Hi, my name is Amy. Welcome to Heal Thyself Book Club. This is a summary of Chapter 1 from the book Spiritual Economics by Eric Butterworth. Let's get right into it. Chapter 1 is called The Truth About Substance, and it's laying the foundations for the rest of the book's teachings. One of these foundations is his definition of substance. And so he says about substance, quote, "We are not referring just to the material essence at the root of matter or substance, but also the space between the particles that make up the substance. Substance is also the force that holds the particles of substance in their place." Then he says that the particles are not just being held in place by the force or acted upon by the force, but that force is acting as a particle. The force is also being a particle, and in turn, we are not just acted upon by God, but we are the activity of God expressing as us. Okay, so that's his definition of substance. Substance is not just the material you can see. Substance is also the force holding the material particles in place, and that force is also acting as the particles, being a particle, manifesting as the particles. And so we are like the particles, not just being acted upon by God, aka the force, but God is expressing as you, as me. Another foundation he is talking about is the way we think about God. He says God is not this finite entity, like the man with the white beard in the sky. He is not a finite entity with characteristics. The author expresses it like this: God is not loving. God is the allness of love. God is not wise. God is the allness of wisdom. God is not a dispenser of substances. God is the allness of ever-present substance, that ever-present force in which we live, move, and have being. Another foundation he talks about is faith. First saying what faith is not, he says, faith does not influence God out there to fill our needs down here. And that what faith actually is our ability to shape spirit substance. Faith is our capacity to shape the ever-present substance, and this will make more sense in a minute. He explains this kind of faith by explaining next how your awareness, your consciousness, is very important. He uses an example of a guy that said, quote, "Many times I have been broke, but I have never been poor," unquote. He says that anyone who understands this statement will always be able to demonstrate prosperity and security no matter what the conditions are in the world. He calls this keeping yourself centered in the inner realm of wholeness, and I'll expand on this. Keeping yourself centered in the inner realm of wholeness, even though we live in a world of duality here in 3D, where we can experience health and sickness, abundance and lack, joy and sadness, you are more than just the matter composing your body. You could call it your soul, your oversoul, your energy body. So all of who we are inhabits the universe, which he is saying is the realm of constancy and stability. Even if you're experiencing lack, you are still in all abundance. If you're experiencing sorrow, you are still in the presence of joy. If you are ill, you are still in the presence of the allness of health. You're always in the presence of God. There is no place where God is not present, so there's no place where there is an absence of substance. The whole of God's substance is present at its entirety at every point in space at the same time. So you may be praying for healing. Then what you can do is realize the whole of God's substance is present as a healing presence. You may be praying for increased supply, and so you can realize the whole of God's substance is present as a prospering presence. He's saying that it's not only because there is a lack of money that you are experiencing being broke. You're not experiencing being broke because there's a lack of money. It's your lack of awareness of the ever-present reality of substance and the lack of faith to shape it into manifest form. Remember, he is describing faith as the ability to shape spirit substance. Let's explore this more. Let's say you're experiencing lack. This could be a lack of health, joy, or money. For simplicity, we'll focus on money. Okay, so what do you do to get the money, to raise the money? The author says first, turn away from the appearance of lack and remember true reality. The reality is that of your affluence, of your abundance, which is an ever-present reality of substance, of God. You are always in the limitless substance of God. You always have abundance. And so what are you doing with this remembrance that you're always in the presence of the limitless substance of God? Is synchronizing your consciousness with reality, with truth. You're creating a channel through which God can do its powerful work through you. And this is when you get the ideas. This is when you receive the mentor or the class, the job, the inspiration or the desire, and the motivation. This is how you receive the ideas for the ways to co-create the money. They will come to you, and then you take inspired action. Because, of course, God can't do more for you than he can do through you. You have to take the action. Okay, now caveat. The goal should not be to make money or acquire things. The goal should be to achieve the consciousness through which the substance will flow forth when and as you need it. Your goal should be to create the consciousness through which the limitless of universal substance can flow. And the author says, getting into this awareness, the consciousness takes discipline and commitment to regularly practicing to remember that you are always in the presence of limitless substance from which all things manifest. You are always in the presence of God. You are always in the presence of divine substance. I highly recommend that you make this part of your daily routine to read this auto-suggestion statement. I am always in the presence of limitless substance from which all things manifest. I am always in the presence of God. I am always in the presence of limitless substance. And I will put this affirmation in the comment section. A quick recap of chapter 1. Substance is not just the material you can see. Substance is also the force holding the material particles in place. And that force is also acting as the particles, being a particle, manifesting as the particles. God is not a finite being. God is the allness of everything. We are always in the presence of God. God is that force that holds the particles in place, moves and acts upon the particles, and God expresses as the particle. Faith is our ability to shape substance. And finally, he stresses the importance of making your consciousness, your awareness, that you are always in the presence of limitless substance. This is how you synchronize yourself with truth so that you can be a channel through which God can work, so you can receive what you need. That's all I have for chapter 1. I'll see you in the next video, a summary of chapter 2 of Spiritual Economics, where we'll learn about the role of your consciousness and how to shape your consciousness favorably towards your preferences. I'm sending you oceans of love and peace, and I'm wishing you success in all your life missions and purposes. See you soon. If you enjoyed this summary, please press the like button and subscribe if you want more self-help chapter summaries in your life. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support.